Welcome, one and everyone, to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I am your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn, here as always with my suspender set to maximum stun. It's good to have you all in the program today, even though I am a little bit late. Yes, it's 7:03, and the chat is already upset. Cigarox says, Nova, wake him up. No, my wife did not have to wake me up. I did not take a nap today. In fact, I've been up all day like a normal human being, right? So, shocker, wasn't sleeping through the program. No, I'm a little bit today because I went upstairs to get a glass of wine. That's right, today is not Scotch and Smoke Rings. Today is wine and smoke rings. And I'm even drinking it out of a water glass because I'm a Philistine, ladies and gentlemen. A Philistine. I went upstairs and I turned the kitchen upside down looking for a wine glass. But sadly, they were all dirty. I guess because we drink wine a lot or something. Or something. But they were all dirty, so I couldn't get a wine glass. So here I am drinking wine out of a water glass. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't hate me for this. But I'm drinking wine today because I'm out of Scotch. That's right, I've been out of Scotch for a few days. Haven't bothered to go get more because I'm lazy. Sirach says, episode 348, the days of wine and derbies. When I have Scotch, it's Scotch and Smoke Rings. When I have wine, it's wine and derbies. I like it. It's got a ring to it. Rolls off the tongue. Bancy Fadger says, cheers, Zox. Cheers, Bancy Fadger. Fadger, pleasure to have you on the program. Magin Justin says, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the most classiest man. That was a double superlative, by the way. In the world, give it up for it is Oxhorn. Yay. Man Girl 111 says, howdy, howdy. Howdy, howdy, Man Girl. Pleasure to have a conflicted person on the program today. The Bantafadger says, Ox, I wanted to ask if you'd accept my friend request on Steam. I'd like to gift you something this weekend. Well, of course. I haven't logged into Steam. I take that back. I log into Steam whenever I play Fallout 4, but I haven't actually checked my friend requests in quite some time. So I'll have to log into my account and check my friend requests. And look, listen to this. It's a lovely spring day here in Seattle. I've got my garage door open. I've got my window open. I'm not wearing a sweater. I'm just relishing the beautiful weather here in Seattle. What a day to smoke cigars and host this program. There could not be a more beautiful day. If I could pick ideal weather for every day of my life, it would be this. There are just a few clouds in the sky so that the sun isn't bearing down on you, making you hot. The birds are singing. There's a swift, cool breeze going by, and yet it's sunny, and everything is beautiful. Life is good. Love life. Relish it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a good thing. All right, on Wine and Derbies today, I'm going to be smoking this beautiful Ashton cigar, imported and made by hand. But before that, we, of course, have to get some music going on. What's wrong with me? 6 minutes into the program, and I haven't played any music. I suppose that's not the end of the world. But let's get some music going here on Scotch and Smoke Rings. The volume is a little quiet. There we go. That's a little better. Well, ladies and gentlemen, great show planned today. It's going to be a little shorter than usual. I'm going to try and end it right at 8 o'clock my time, because I haven't had dinner yet, and the wife is making a beautiful dinner, and I'd love to sit down with the family before the sun fully sets. So that's the goal for me today. However, I'm still really thrilled to be here smoking a fine cigar with good friends like you. Cheers. Doomageddon of Silverhand says, "Hey Oxhorn, hey Doomageddon, pleasure to have you on the show as always." Cigarox says, "On tonight's episode, Oxhorn will shave off everything above the neck." April Fools. Yes, that would be an April Fools, because you know me, although, I don't know if you noticed, it is shorter. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I did trim the beard. Actually, I didn't trim it, a professional did. That's right, my beautiful wife said, Brandon, you need a haircut for Easter. What's going on with my computer? Windows Explorer just crashed on my computer. Am I still streaming? It looks like I'm still streaming. I still have an internet connection. Alright, well, I won't worry about it then. My beautiful wife, it was getting close to Easter, and my beautiful wife said, Brandon, you need a haircut. And while you're at it, get the beard trimmed too. The Bancy Fadger says, we see you. Okay, good. I'm still there. Great. So she said, while you're at it, get a beard trim. And she told me exactly what she wanted to. She's like, trim up the sides a little bit, make it come a little more pointed and then rounded at the end, and make it about half as long, because it was down to like about here when I fully comb it out. So I went to the hair specialist, and that's what I told her. And I said, "Do you trim many beards?" And in a thick Ukrainian accent, she said, "I'm not going to mimic it because I can't do a Ukrainian accent." But she said, "No, I don't trim many beards your length. Apparently, the hipsters in this area have very short beards, not long beards like yours truly." In fact, I asked for a beard shampoo, and she's like, "I don't think we do those." Okay. So I didn't get a beard shampoo. They just trimmed it up. Greg Hartung says, is there any way I can switch the stream to audio only? My dorm internet is spitting me once more. Sadly, I don't know if that's possible. Zalthrian says you can on mobile. Okay. Great. Is anyone else see frozen? Am I frozen on anyone else's screen, or is it just... Interesting, so it looks like... Greg Hartung says Cox Internet has officially stooped to the same level as Time Warner. So inconsistent. Looks like everybody's having internet issues today. Well, that's a shame. Whoa! The bugs are trying to... Oh, good. I thought one landed in my wine for a moment there. Whew! That would have been bad. Can't do a show without your wine. Cigarox said, my Zug may grow into Duck Dynasty. The Duck Dynasty levels are fairly extreme, but glorious, I must say. Elizabeth says, Jonath got a haircut, but not the beard. He won't let me. Yo. Oh, hey, that happens. It happens. I'm just too kind and loving, I suppose. And the wife says she wants a beard trim. I'm like, all right. It's your beard. Do with it as you see fit. Goldbreath is in the chat today and says, hello, 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 Goldbreath. JC84JC00 says no. Oh, that's the... Okay, that was in response to my question about whether or not I was frozen. Alright, we're 15 minutes into the program. Let's get to your recorded messages and fan art and all of that. Also, I am going to be doing a shorter episode today. It's going to be almost exactly an hour, but I'm going to be making up for it later today with a special Twitch broadcast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying you have to stay up late to watch it, but later tonight, after dinner and after the sun sets, when I'm starting to get ready to calm down for the evening, I'm going to play Fallout 4 and build a settlement. That's right, it's going to be, I guess you could call it a tutorial by Oxhorn on how to build a settlement. Let's see, how can I spin this? How to build a lore-friendly settlement that is functional, it serves a purpose, it's not overly elaborate with a bunch of decorations, and it uses minimal mods. So it's mostly out of the box, only using a few mods just to make things a little bit more functional. So later tonight, I'm not giving you a time. I don't expect you to stay up, but for those who happen to be up, I will be streaming. I'll try to announce it on Twitter as well. So. Madman Max is in the house and says, "Greetings. Sorry, I'm late. Work is a killer this week. 10 days on the trot. But you know what? You are dedicated to your profession, and that is admirable. The world needs more hard workers like you, good sir." Oh, I'm looking at some of these. Alright, let's talk about... Oh, that's right, my computer doesn't do sharing of the stream very well. Let's... try... Nope. That didn't work. We started to get Inception going on there. Here, let's try something else. Alright, so here we are in our Facebook group, and let's take a look at some of your fan art submissions. This is from Damon LaRue, and I don't know if you can read the text here, but I'll read it to you. It's pretty funny. He says, so hold on, where all the smoke ship magic ideas happen, do you think any of these ideas would make for a good boat? And so here's his smoke ship ideas. An army of aerodynamic winged bowler hats piloted by the Minutemen taking charge against a massive horde of angry elves in Pandoran. Supported by the Brotherhood of Steel, Ox shows up to support the Minutemen due to their mutual distaste of polo shirts and backwards hats. The hero of the program, Cigar Ox, then flies in to give a supply of cigars to all the troops. This is probably in response to our last week's show. Bancy Fadger says, "That's my ship from last week." This is your ship from last week? Oh. I don't remember reading this last week. He meant what's below that. Alright, let's read what's below that. Future concepts for smoke ships. Oxhorn with a dimension-hopping bowler hat. Okay. Ralphamel turns 9 years old on April 1st. That's tomorrow! Holy cow, 9 years old. Greg tries to pull Oxhorn into the Skyrim universe. That's true, because that did happen last week. A ship that ends with Oxhorn flying in to steal music. A music award from Lady Gaga for his hit song, Like the Game. Smoke and Scotch rings. Unfortunately, rings of Scotch are not physically possible. Unless you freeze them. But that would have to be very, very cold because alcohol doesn't freeze. At typical water temperature, Greg transmutes the populace of Silvermen into strips of crispy bacon. Oxhorn then eats the bacon. Sheet and Greg Harton finance a ship for Oxhorn through joining Fancy Badger's Hearthstone trade. Alright. Nicely done. Nicely done, good sir. Why is this at the top? It says 5 minutes ago. Alright. Eric says, if it'll load. Colorado Sky, riding my newly acquired Grove Warden in Mulgore. This would be the perfect mount for Oxhorn. A Grove Warden? You are in Mulgore. It looks pretty great. Well, congratulations to you, good sir. Nicely done. Damon LaRue says, a preview of what's to come in the next Hearthstone expansion. This is a real paladin card. Ragnaros, the Light Lord. At the end of your turn, restore 8 health to a damaged friendly character. Wow. Almost sounds OP, ladies and gentlemen, but pretty amazing. Then there's Batman vs. Superman, Sad Affleck. I think we've
Since
all
reviews
seen
for the
this by
film
now.
have come out, and I don't know if you've had a
And
chance
it's
to have a look
very
at them,
sad.
or like your response to those, or
No, what are they saying?
well, it's been getting a mixed response.
It's a pretty funny video. My brother showed it to me, and I felt so bad for Ben Affleck. Imagine Justin is sharing an old Easter video of mine from way back in the day, years and years ago. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing that. And then I believe the rest are all repeats. Yes, the rest are all repeats or from previous shows. So thank you for all of those submissions, ladies and gentlemen. And holy cow, no recorded messages. That's a first. No recorded messages. All right. Cool. I'm going to sit here and smoke a cigar. How about that? Trevor Green. Trevor Green says, Oxhorn, you should do more game recordings on some of your spare time because it would be cool for you to be the first hippie-hating guy I know to hit 1 million subs. Well, wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, hey, if I hit 1 million subs, I'd be able to retire and do nothing but make gaming videos. So if you happen to know 1 million people ready to subscribe to me on YouTube, hey, then that's what we'll do. But the thing is, I now I actually publish all of my not only Scotch and Smoke Rings episodes to YouTube, but I also produce gaming videos in their own right. So I've produced a lot of Fallout 4 gaming videos and tutorials and stuff. If you just search for Classy Man I Am on YouTube, you'll be able to find them. Oh, Jasandra1988 is now hosting me. Cool, thanks Jasandra1988. I'll have to look up your Twitch profile. Ah, my smoke rings are bad today. I can't find you on Twitch. I'm just bad at Google. That's my problem. I'm just bad at Google. Jasandra1988 says, you're welcome, man. I love you. Well, the feeling is mutual. Thanks so much. Madman Max21 says, I would have recorded one today, but I fell asleep after getting home because 4 hours of sleep for a 10-hour shift. Good sir, you don't overdo it. I mean, you do have to have your energy. Like, I appreciate a strong work ethic. I do. I mean, working hard is an admirable quality, but you have to get your sleep. So take it easy, my friend. Get your sleep. Record a message for Scotch and Smoke Rings. Show up to the show on time. These are the important things in life. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Northwind Wolf says, hey Oxhorn, long time no see. Well, howdy there, Northwind Wolf. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show. I hope you can come every single week. Cigarox says, only 2 episodes left until something happens to me. What is it? Stay tuned. Cigarox, that sounded fairly ominous. Like, are you predicting the future, or do you know that something is coming and you're teasing us all? Look, this is a Gawker article ready to be written, right? Lone internet user appears on Scotch and Smoke Rings to announce his, I don't know, insert terrible deed here. 2 weeks later, it happens. He was trying to tell the universe at Scotch and Smoke Rings, but nobody paid attention, and it happened. Here he is. He says it's coming for real. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling. Oh no, what is it? I'm hoping it's a shipment of cigars for you. I hope you're like 2 episodes left until something happens to me, and it's a great big shipment of cigars right to my door. That's what's going to happen. I'm so excited. Not like 2 weeks until I nuke Africa. That would be bad. Don't nuke Africa, Cigarox. That would be bad. Matt Zinn says, how do I get an amazing beard such as yours? Well, it takes time and dedication and a lot of exercising. There are specific beard exercises that are necessary for causing your follicles to sprout, and they have to do with lifting Scotch glasses to your mouth repeatedly over and over again. It's this action right here, but filled with Scotch. Here, I'll demonstrate. Do those on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, it's the cigar lift. Oh. I tell you, it's a workout, but trust me, at the end of the first week, you'll start to see some amazing stubble. I'm saying, the cigar lift, the Scotch lift, beard growth. That's the way it works. Sanji Blackheart says, I'll be returning more now, and my girlfriend is watching with me now. Hey, that's great. Well, congratulations. I hope you two can come every single week. Madsen says, okay, thanks, Dad. You're welcome, son. Refresh your recorded messages. All right. Andy the DK says, what are you smoking and drinking this evening, Oxford? I am smoking an Ashton, imported Ashton cigar. And I'm sadly drinking wine. I know, this is Scotch and Smoke Rings. I should be drinking Scotch. But I failed to replenish my Scotch stores in time for the program, so I'm forced to drink a little wine. In a peasant glass, no less. This is a water glass. I didn't even have any clean wine glasses. So. Alright, oh, we've got some recorded messages. Great. Andy the DK is on the program. Andy the DK, what is on your mind, good sir?
Greetings, Oxhorn. It is I, Andy the DK. How are you doing this fine Thursday evening, good sir? Hope you are doing well, and my greetings to everyone in the Scotch and Smoke Rings chat. Ox, it is once time again for another classy question of the week, and since for the past couple weeks I've been asking you about clothing, I thought I would stick to the topic and go straight down to shoes. Ox, what are some classy shoes that you wear that are just classy in general? What are the do's and don'ts of wearing classy shoes? Because honestly, if you judge someone, especially in today's society, a lot of people judge, how classy you are by the clothes you wear, and shoes are a good place to start for me. So I was just wondering if you have any advice to our classy viewers about shoe care and for just wearing classy shoes. Thank you, good sir. As always, this is Andy the DK signing out. Stay classy, everyone.
Papaco1 says, amazing rings, bro. Why, thank you, good sir. I do try. Great question, Andy the DK. So, a little bit of varied advice. It really depends upon what your profession is. If you go to an office job every day, then there's nothing better than a pair of wingtip shoes. Get yourself a pair of wingtip shoes. Don't get black ones unless you want to be really formal. Certainly don't get any patent leather wingtip shoes unless you're going out dancing or something like that. But get a nice brown or gray wingtip shoe. Real leather, of course, 100% leather with wooden soles, and that's going to be a good office environment shoe. If, on the other hand, you do a lot of walking, or maybe you're in construction, or you do a lot of outdoor work, my recommendation is to get a simple chukka boot. A chukka boot is gonna not go all the way up your ankle, but about halfway, and it's gonna be 100% leather, and you can use. It's gonna be sturdy. It's gonna rough. It's gonna look better with age and wear. Again, don't go for patent leather or anything like that, but a nice rustic leather color is gonna be good. Now, there are tennis shoes out there, but in my opinion, wearing tennis shoes for anything other than like mowing the lawn makes you look juvenile. It makes you look younger than you really are, and it's something that you outgrow as you mature as a human being. So that would be what I recommend. Leather Oxford shoes, wingtip shoes for office environments, and leather chukka boots for most other things. Robin2258 says you can't beat good work boots, Ox. That's true. Well, that's what I use. I use chukka boots for my work boots. Now, granted, I do work from home, so it's not like I'm digging ditches or working in an oil field. So maybe you need a suede boot or something a little bit more rustic, that's fine. But chukka boots, I think, can work really well. I use my chukka boots when it's raining, when it's dirty outside, and they still hold up really well. In fact, I actually recorded and published a video on how to waterproof chukka boots, if you want to see the exact pair that I'm talking about. All right, next on the program is Imagine Justin. What's on your mind, good sir?
Hello, Oxhorn.
Hello.
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi. Is that it? Okay. Imagine Justin, pleasure to have you on the program. Thanks for stopping by. Chief Smash says, I mow the lawn in my work boots. If something kicks back at you, you'll be happy you did. Yeah, that's true. If you're mowing the lawn, don't do it in anything that you truly love. Caterpillar Composite Safety Toes, says Robin2258, even in a mostly casual office environment. Alright, to each his own, to each his own. Sanji Blackheart says, I gotta have my steel toes. Yeah, I think steel toes are a little over you don't really need steel-toed boots for every situation. I mean, yeah, if you're in danger of having a 10-ton weight dropped on your feet, then sure, steel-toed boots... I mean, that won't help. 10 tons is a lot. But, you know, if you're about to get your foot run over by a runaway tractor, then maybe some steel-toed boots. Otherwise... Man Grill 111. Oh, Man Grill. I got confused. I thought it was Man Girl. No. It's Man Grill 111. Says, will you be trying Overwatch? You know, I'm vaguely curious about it. I do love Blizzard games in general. And I thought that I've seen the gameplay videos and it looks interesting. I don't know. I mean, have you guys heard the latest...
Hello, Oxhorn. I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, I accidentally pushed the button again. Have you guys heard the latest controversy surrounding Overwatch? Yeah, so apparently there's this victory pose that the characters do. Like, they'll defeat an enemy and go, huzzah! You know? Well, there's this one girl character. I don't know their names. Don't make me remember their names. But Trigger or Trish or something like that. Anyway, she's got a couple of pistols and she runs around, pa-choo-choo! And she can dash around and zip and zag. And she wears, like, the skin-tight outfit, which is typical in games these days. I mean, even in Fallout 4, the vault suit is, like, the skin-tight outfit, right? And when she does her little hi-ya move at the end, you do get to see her butt. Like, you can see the profile of her butt from a distance. Trigger, Tracer. Tracer? Her name is Tracer. Okay. So apparently her name is Tracer. Anyway, I saw a photo of this and I didn't think it was anything. I even contemplated showing it on the show, so like, that is not objectionable. I mean, why? But apparently a bunch of social justice warriors have taken to Blizzard and said, look, this is overly sexual and this offends my sensibilities, and I was triggered by watching the butt of a digital character fully clothed with guns dancing because she did a victory. And I'm like... But Blizzard responded by removing it. Like, they censored it. They censored the victory butt. I'm not even kidding. And since then, I've seen a compilation video of men's butts in games. And it's like every single game, even Fallout 4, and it's the only game I know these days. It's the only one I play. It's like butts, like lots of men butts. And apparently there's this petition that was started on Reddit where a bunch of people in a tongue-in-cheek way have been saying, well, why stop at butts? I'm offended by using actual guns in the game. Guns promote violence, and when I see a gun, I get triggered. The guns trigger me. Here, Blizzard, we demand that you remove guns from your video game all about shooting guns. I didn't sign it, but it's one of those things where, I mean, yeah, that's the obvious tongue-in-cheek reaction. Robin2258 says, social justice warrior equals unemployed, Ox. I didn't say it, ladies and gentlemen. That didn't come from me. It's someone in the chat, totally not me. I don't want to get into this battle. Gamergate and all that. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke my cigar. Chief Smash says it was actually only one guy that complained because he plays with his daughter. Apparently the guy has no problem with his daughter shooting people. Look, I have a daughter. I love my daughter. I would never play Overwatch with my daughter. If I want to play a child-friendly game, I'm going to find a child-friendly game. Who plays... I'm not one of those guys who's going to sit there and say Overwatch needs to be changed to fit my lifestyle. I'm going to choose games that fit my lifestyle. If there's a game out there that is inappropriate for my children to see, I won't allow my children to see it. That's just changing my life to do that, right? Because I'm the consumer and I can consume what I want. I love Fallout 4, but it is not a child-friendly game. There's a lot of cursing, and I think that's about... Oh, violence, of course. There's cursing and violence, sometimes really gory violence. So, of course, I'm never going to let my children play it. As much as I like it and respect it as the piece of art that it is, I would never go to my children and say, hey, Daddy got you a Fallout 4 game so that you can blow up super mutants and watch their heads explode. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find an appropriate game for my kids, right? I'm not going to make the game change to better fit me. That would be, like, totalitarian of me. I'm not going to get started on this, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to drag me into this discussion. It's not going to happen. All right, Eternal887 says, hello, Classy Oxhorn. I used to be a regular viewer, but due to a new baby girl coming into and enriching my life, I have had to stop watching the live show, but I still watch on YouTube. But that being said, as a fellow parent, do you have any advice on this topic? I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on your new baby girl. You know, I've got two kids. One's a little boy, one's a little girl, and they're each so much fun in their own way. When I had my little boy, it was a blast. I got to wrestle with him and, you know, tackle and tickle and all of the, you know, just monsters and robots and all that. And my little girl is so sweet. She loves watching, what is it? There's this My Cupcake Princess show or whatever, and we got her a Tea Party set, and she loves her Tea Party set. Here's the funny thing. For the longest time, I've been told that you shouldn't get gender-specific toys for your children because you don't want to ingrain, you know, gender-specific roles into your kids and so on and so forth. And I didn't care about any of that, but I never really bought any gender-specific toys for my kids at the very beginning. I got Legos and blocks, and we still don't have any toy guns. We didn't really get a bunch of robots. But, you know, I go to a toy store with Gavin, my son, and what does he do? He points out all the robots. He wants to play with the robots. He takes a look at the Super Soakers and the Nerf guns because he wants to play with the guns. And when I go out with my daughter, yes, she's still really young and she likes blocks and balls and stuffed animals and all of that, but she plays mommy. She's a 2-year-old, well, nearly 2-year-old child, and she plays mommy. She will take up the baby dolls and she'll go, oh, baby. She's a baby herself, and she's babying a baby doll, which, of course, Gavin never did. So I think, like, this whole gender ingraining thing, look, we evolved. We evolved specific genders that serve specific functions, and that means that we have specific gender-defined interests, and there's nothing wrong with that. If my girl wants to play with teacups, she can play with teacups. I'm not going to say, no, don't play with the teacups because that's gender-specific. If she wants to play with the G.I. Joes, she's free to play with the G.I. Joes. Her brother has toys, and she can play with them all. I don't forbid my kids from playing with whatever toys, but 9 times out of 10, Gavin will go with the cars and the robots, and Gwendolyn will play with the dolls and the tea sets. And that's just the way they are. They're kids. So I don't think that actually... Did I give you any advice there? My advice would be, don't worry about what other people say when it comes to raising your kids. Especially if you go on Facebook or Tumblr or any of these websites, you're going to have these uber granola moms who talk about, you know, whether it's immunizations or circumcision or the kind of food you can offer, you know, whole grain and, organic and all of that, to the toys that you're allowed to. Just don't worry about all that. Feed the kids the food you want to feed them. Buy the kids the toys they want to play with. Don't worry about what other people online say about it. They don't matter. Just do your own thing. That's what I would say. Northwind Wolf says, good games for your kids will be Nintendo games. I loved my Nintendo games growing up. See, here's the thing. Part of me wants to give my children the childhood I had with games. Like, I want to get a Sega Genesis and an NES and show them Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario and all these old original games, because I had such a great time as a child. And yet, the other part of me is thinking, yes, but there's an entire generation of children who are growing up with their own games. And if you try to give them your childhood, then they may miss out on the childhood that all of their peers are going to have. So I'm a little conflicted. I have such great respect for the birth of video games and all of these games that appeared when I was a child that we all sort of became, accustomed to. Like Final Fantasy VII, which was an amazing game, even though the sword was way too big and he had spiky hair. Whatever. It was still an amazing game. Like, I would love to be able to introduce my kids to that and Zelda. And yet I also don't want them to miss all of the other really cool games that are going to be coming out when they become the appropriate age. So, I don't know. I haven't gotten to there yet. They're both still too young for video games. Shoot5 says, let them discover your childhood, your gaming childhood. That's actually a great idea. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they're going to go to school and all the other kids are going to be talking about, oh man, that Zelda game is pretty amazing, you should go play it. I don't know if they'll ever discover it unless I introduce it to them. Valexor says, or just split it down the middle and offer them some newer games and some classics. That's a great strategy. That's what I thought of. I would love to be able to say, I want to make a balance, right? I've kind of got this all planned out in my head, even though my kids are too young to get to this point, but I'm really looking forward to the point when I can set up shop in the garage and I've got a little arts and crafts station for the kids, and we can build robots with circuit boards and some soldering, and then we can, make toolboxes and other things with wood and balance all of those hands-on activities with some gaming activities. And I can share with them some of the classic NES games and Sega games that I enjoyed as a kid, and then maybe we can explore some modern games like the Minecraft of tomorrow or whatever. The one thing that I will not do is I'm not going to be allowing my kids to play a lot of multiplayer games, and they definitely will not be allowed cell phones or computers with internet access for a while until they're old enough to handle it. Sometimes I think parents give that to their kids way too early and kids can get into trouble that way. That's really the only major restrictions I'm going to be having, but I really want them to enjoy a wide variety of interests, from reading to hands-on arts and crafts to gaming and so on. To those watching the recording, I'm quiet right now because my stream died. From your perspective, it will not have disconnected, but my live viewers, can't see me right now. Jeez. My internet has been off and on unstable all day. I hope this wouldn't happen during my show. I'm gonna text the wife and see if she can reset the router. Okay, are we back? My computer says we're back. Anyone in chat? Can anyone see me in chat? Oh, my computer is just going bonkers here. Gisandra1988 says, I want to introduce games to my son when he's older, but I grew up on games and never went outside and played with my kids my age, just stayed inside. I want my son to be able to play and have friends unlike his mom. Lol. That's actually a really good point, and it's something that I've thought for quite some time. I actually had a fairly balanced childhood. I enjoyed games, but I also did activities. Like, I was in sports, I did wrestling. for a while, and I was in the Boy Scouts. I ended up becoming an Eagle Scout. I did a lot of camping. I did a lot of outdoorsy activities, so I had a fairly balanced childhood like that. But I do know a lot of people, and they've been friends of mine, close friends of mine, who grew up on games, and that's really all they did. Like, they would play their video games, and then they would go play Magic the Gathering, and then they would play Warhammer 40k, and that was all they did, and those were the only people that they ever associated with. And while I have respect for all three of those activities and all three of those hobbies, I do think it's important for a child to be raised with a variety of different interests, not just super geek interests. Just like I wouldn't want somebody raised with super jock interests. You know, you can do your jock thing too. Go play football. I'd love my kids to play football or soccer or whatever, and then also play some video games every now and then. You know, and have a variety of different interests. So I think that's probably going to be the way that we approach these things. Wow. My internet is just bonkers. ManGrill111 says, have your kids seen your old videos? No, they're too young to appreciate my old videos. My son is 3, going on 4, and my daughter is 1, going on 2. So they're too young to appreciate it just yet. I'm not sure what age they'll be when I introduce my videos to them, and I also don't know if they'll be able to get them. Like, I don't know. That's one thing about the humor in my videos. It comes from a time. It comes from the 2004, 5, 6, and 7. That area. And the internet has changed a lot, and people have changed a lot since then, and now my videos are seen as quote-unquote classics, which is fine, but it also means that I don't know if my kids will get it. Like, I don't know how well my videos will age. You know, the mark of a good comic and the mark of good material is that it ages well. You can watch some Mel Brooks, and some Mel Brooks is just as funny today as it was when it was released in the 70s or earlier. And that means that it was just well done. My stuff, I honestly don't know. It's going to take time to be able to tell whether mine will be just as funny in 10 years, 20 years, as it was when I first made it. It says, let them live their own, and then let them choose to explore the old school games. With a lot of series like Pokemon, most people discuss classics and compare them to the originals. Maybe, see, but Pokemon is one of those things where it's new to me. I wasn't raised on Pokemon. I graduated from college in the year 2000. The whole Pokemon thing happened after that. So I never got into it. I never saw it. I have yet to play a Pokemon game, watch a Pokemon show, never owned any Pokemon toys. That was not part of my childhood, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not interested in it. None of it seems interesting to me. Of course, there are a lot of adults now, even adults that I work with, where Pokemon was a great part of their childhood, and they have very fond memories. I guess that just shows how old I'm getting. So, I don't know, yeah, maybe I'll just let my kids do their own thing, and if they're interested, I can tell them the old tales of Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails. Cheers, ladies and gents. Well, this is getting to be ridiculous. Sorry for the pause in the middle of my program. Trying to fix this internet problem. You probably hear in the background that ding, ding, ding. Yeah, that's my computer trying to reconnect. And I hope that I could just wait it out like I always do. But it looks like that's not the case, so I'm going to have to get up and try something. Be right back. Hi, babies. Alright, to those watching on YouTube, I'm resetting my router. Hopefully I'll have internet access here again shortly. You know, in a similar vein to what we were talking about, I often worry about my kids and my cigar smoking because they're never in the same room with me when I smoke cigars, but they know that Daddy smokes cigars, and sometimes they see me on camera smoking cigars, and especially as they get older and they start to understand what cigars are and the health risks with cigars. Of course, before they turn 18, I'll never, ever allow them to smoke because it's illegal. But even after they turn 18, it's still not something I think I'm going to introduce to them. I think it's, if they decide that they want to try a cigar, I'll advise them as to the dangers, and I'll teach them how to smoke cigars as safely as possible. And I'll probably, to be perfectly honest, I'll probably encourage them not to get into this as a hobby. Not only because it's expensive, but I just don't want them at that young of an age to be introduced to something that can become addicting. I didn't start smoking cigars until I was 26 or 7. Late 20s. 2008 or 9. Really. Right around when I started this program, actually. So I had kind of, by that time, I had gotten to understand who I was when it came to addictions. Like I had never become addicted to alcohol or any kind of drugs or anything like that, certainly never cigarettes. And I kind of knew my limits, and so I started slowly, and I'd had 1 or 2 cigars, and I realized that this wasn't becoming an issue for me. And then I started to enjoy the cigars as a hobby. And now, today, I smoke, 1 or 2 a week, and it's not a problem. But for my kids, I don't think I'm going to introduce them to it or encourage them to partake in it until they're much older, until they're in their late 20s, and then they're old enough to understand their bodies, to understand their personalities and their limits to temptation, and they're able to manage such things without getting addicted. Same with alcohol. Well, this is distressing. Still no internet connection here. At some point, I'm going to have to end the program and go fix this issue. Cheers. Alright, I'll be right back. I'll be up a little bit. Alright, so to those watching on YouTube, the internet is not coming back. I'm going to have to call the internet company because restarting the modem doesn't seem to work. So, I'm going to have to end the program now, and to those on Twitch who are watching this later, sorry that this happened. Internet is usually not this bad, but I'll make it up to you. As I said during the program, I'm going to do a special broadcast later tonight, if I get my internet working, where I'll play some Fallout and show you some settlement building. So, Thanks for sticking with me, ladies and gentlemen, despite all of these technical issues, and thank you for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. I'll be sure to have a smoke ship next week when we actually can broadcast the episode. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.